Welcome to our exploration of estuaries, the confluence of freshwater and seawater, where sedimentation shapes landscapes under the influence of tidal and fluvial processes, divided into lower, middle, and upper regions. Each zone displays distinct hydrological characteristics. Estuaries manifest in various forms: drowned river valleys, bar-built structures, tectonic depressions, and glacier-carved fjords. Salinity, a key feature, fluctuates significantly, forming distinct layers within these ecosystems. The substrate, predominantly fine and muddy, creates anoxic conditions, affecting oxygen distribution. Despite challenges, estuarine organisms exhibit remarkable adaptations, such as euryhaline traits to cope with salinity fluctuations and elevated hemoglobin levels for oxygen utilization in low-oxygen environments.
These adaptations underscore the resilience of life in estuarine habitats, highlighting their significance as biodiversity hotspots and vital components of global ecosystems. We'll delve into the fascinating world of estuaries, uncovering their abiotic factors, the vibrant communities that call them home, and some unique examples of life within these ecosystems.
What are the abiotic factors in estuaries? Abiotic factors are the non-living component of an ecosystem that shape its characteristics and influence the organism living within it. The survival of organisms is influenced by living, which is biotic, and non-living, which is abiotic factors. A variety of variables can contribute to a species' incapacity to live in a specific location, unless the species is able to respond through physical or behavioral change. In estuaries, several key abiotic factors play crucial roles. These factors include salinity. Estuaries experience fluctuating level of salinity due to the mixing of freshwater from rivers and saltwater from the ocean. This variability creates unique habitats that support diverse life forms. Next, tidal variation. Tides in estuaries cause regular fluctuation in water levels, exposing intertidal zones and influencing nutrient transport and sediment deposition. Sediment composition. Estuaries accumulate sediment carried by rivers and ocean currents, forming mudflats, sandbars, and marshes. The composition of these sediments influence habitat structure and nutrient availability. Too much sediment prevents light penetration that aquatic vegetation needs, smothers benthic habitat, and clogs navigation channels. On the other hand, too little sediment can increase predation of some species or cause land and marshes loss. Temperature. Estuarine temperature can vary depending on factors such as sunlight exposure, depth, and proximity of freshwater sources. Temperature is one of the best understood abiotic factors affecting the distribution and abundance of organisms. Temperature has a large impact on plants and animals because it influences their metabolic rates and affects rates of growth and reproduction. Geographic ranges of animals are often defined by temperature, and many species respond to seasonal temperature shifts by acclimatizing to changes or by migrating away from them. Oxygen. Oxygen is used in respiration. Respiration releases stored chemical energy to power an organism's life processes. An absence of oxygen severely restricts the amount of life that can be supported. Lastly, light. Light is a very important abiotic factor, especially to plants. Plants use energy in sunlight to convert water and carbon dioxide into carbohydrate and oxygen. This is accomplished through a series of chemical reactions called photosynthesis.
Within estuaries is incredibly diverse, comprising a wide range of plants, animals, and microorganisms adapted to the unique conditions of this ecosystem. Estuaries are home to a variety of plants, specially adapted to survive in the dynamic conditions of these ecosystems. Estuarine plant communities include marsh grasses, mangroves, and algae, which provide shelter, stability to shoreline, and serve as food sources and oxygenating water for other organisms. Estuaries serve as nurseries and feeding grounds for countless fish and shellfish species, from shrimps, crabs, to oysters. Some species like striped bass and flounder depend on estuaries during different stages of their lives. Their presence not only supports local ecosystems but also sustains important commercial and recreational fisheries. Estuaries attract a variety of bird species such as herons and egrets, which forage for food along the shores, while ducks and swans utilize the habitat for nesting and resting during migrations. Beneath the surface, estuaries are filled with invertebrates like worms, clams, and crabs. These tiny creatures play crucial roles in nutrient cycling and sediment dynamics, shaping the health of the ecosystem, from filter feeding bivalves to scavenging crustaceans. Each organism contributes to the intricate web of life that sustains estuarine communities.
Mangrove trees, for example, are characterized by their salt tolerance and are pivotal in tropical and subtropical estuaries. The pneumatophores are specialized area roots that facilitate gas exchange in waterlogged environments, ensuring survival in submerged conditions. These trees provide essential habitat for a plethora of organisms, offering shelter, breeding grounds, and protection for them. Mangrove also serve as coastal buffers, reducing the impact of waves and storms, while their intricate root system stabilize shorelines and trap sediments, enriching the ecosystem. The estuarine turbidity maximum (ETM) is a distinct phenomenon in estuarine environment occurring where sediment-laden freshwater mixes with clearer saltwater from the ocean. This convergence creates a zone of elevated turbidity, impacting various aspects of the ecosystem. The ETM plays a crucial role in nutrient cycling as it affects the deposition and resuspension of sediments, influencing nutrient availability and distribution. Additionally, the high turbidity in this zone influences the transport and distribution of planktonic organisms, which are essential components of estuarine food webs.
Food web. What is food web? A food web illustrates all the food chains, the process by which energy is passed from one living thing to another through food in a single ecosystem. Knowing the key living species that comprise the food chain and how the ecosystem is balanced depends on our ability to comprehend how the food chain functions. As estuaries are where the seawater and freshwater mix, the animals also have their adaptation. This adaptation helps them to hunt for their food and their survivability. The best way to show how unique the food web at the estuaries is, blue crab are chosen as an example. Blue crabs are found in brackish coastal lagoons and estuaries from Nova Scotia through the Gulf of Mexico and as far south as Uruguay. Estuarine food webs are complex systems where various organisms interact, starting with primary producers like phytoplankton and marsh grasses. Detritus, or dead organic matter, is a key component supporting many estuarine organisms. Primary consumers, such as small fish, marine worms, and mollusks, feed on these producers and detritus, while secondary consumers, including fish and birds, prey on the primary consumers. Tertiary consumers, such as large predatory fish like striped bass and sharks, occupy the top of the food chain. Decomposers break down dead organic matter, returning nutrients to the ecosystem. These interactions create a dynamic balance, influencing the health and stability of estuarine ecosystems. The uniqueness of the food web comes from uniqueness of the place itself, estuaries. Last but not least, This figure shows the food web of the blue crab in Chesapeake Bay, illustrating only those linkages with the blue crab as either predator or prey. Blue crab adults and juveniles are shown as separate compartments. Thicker lines indicate stronger connections, as determined from stomach content studies. That's all from the unique food web of estuaries.
Estuaries truly are remarkable ecosystems that provide valuable ecological services, including nutrient cycling, shoreline protection, and support for commercial fisheries. By understanding and appreciating this complexity of estuarine environments, we can work together to conserve and protect these vital habitats for future generations. Thank you for joining us on this journey through estuaries.